Hi, class. Today we are in chapter 1 still. We are on lesson 2, reading about the Navajo. First, before we start reading, let's take a look at this map right here. So here's a map of North America, and let's take a look at this legend right here. Remember, the legend tells us what the map is about. So the legend says, Athabascan language spoken. So that's going to be this purple area here, a little bit here in the Pacific Northwest, and here in the desert Southwest. And then this other color here, which is everything else, says other languages spoken. It says Athabascan language areas. Map skills. Look at the map. The portions colored purple are where the Athabascan language speakers live, including the Navajo. Using the information from the text, trace the route you think the Navajo took when they migrated. Why do you think they did not settle in some other places? Well, that's an interesting question. We'll come back to that one at the end. All right, let's start up here at the top of the text. The Navajo. The Navajo were neighbors to the Pueblo and borrowed some of their ideas. They used irrigation to grow crops, made clothes with cotton, and were skilled in making jewelry and pottery. Despite these similarities, the Navajo were not related to the Pueblo. The Navajo were related to the Athabascan of Alaska and Canada. Scholars think the Navajo migrated from the northern tundra to the southwestern deserts in the late 1200s. Let's take a look at the next page. The Navajo were originally hunter-gatherers, but quickly adopted new techniques for surviving in the desert. In addition to learning farming from the Pueblo, the Navajo also learned from Spanish settlers when they arrived in the 1500s. They were interested in the animals the Spanish brought with them. The Navajo soon became skilled at herding sheep and cattle, as well as riding horses. Their relationship with the Spanish was otherwise hostile. Hostile, of course, if you don't know, means, well, not good, kind of volatile, angry, mean. The culture of the Spanish clashed with several of the American Indian groups. The Navajo became close allies with the Pueblo and the Apache fighting the Spanish. The Navajo lived in hogans, large dome-shaped buildings. Let's take a look at those really quick. There they are. And the caption here reads, a hogan. Hogans were made of logs or stone and covered in mud and dirt. They had one entrance, usually facing east, and covered with a blanket. Hogans had no windows, only a hole in the roof so that smoke from the fire could escape. Traditionally, the Navajo believed in hozo, or walking in beauty. This means maintaining balance with the earth. They believed that being out of harmony with the earth was the cause of illness and suffering. In order to restore harmony, they took part in long ceremonies involving singing and dancing. Many of these rituals are still practiced today. All right, let's go back over here to this map. So it says, why do you think they did not settle in other places? So we've got the tundra area here, and then we have this desert southwest area here. My idea is that I think that tundra areas, well, even though it's cold and it does snow, there's not a lot of rainfall, there's not a lot of farming, which is very similar to this desert region here, where there's not a lot of rain and there's not a lot of farming, which it talks about how the Navajo learned how to farm from the Pueblo Indians. Even though they were not related to them, they used the irrigation that the Pueblos used to grow crops. They made clothes with cotton and jewelry and pottery like the Pueblo did. So they joined up with the Pueblo in so much as that they learned from them. And they also learned from the Spanish, even though, as we know, we talked about hostile, they did not have a good relationship with the Spanish. But they learned from them and took things from them, such as raising cattle and sheep and riding horses, and adapted them to their culture. Okay, boys and girls, I'd like you to go back, reread any sections in the text that you don't understand or that you didn't quite get, and we'll see you soon.